Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So, I am gonna say that winter is coming and the days are getting shorter, the nights are getting longer, it's getting cooler, it's more of that cloudy, dreary weather. And in other words, the northern hemisphere is running away from the sun. So definitely the chances for snow are on the rise. We see the snow, kind of snow line, if you will, the 32-degree line pushing further and further south at a consistent more pace. So definitely it looks as if, we're well into fall. It's October 3rd as of recording this video. So definitely we are seeing signs of that fall, winter-like weather. And honestly, it's just, even though it's October, we're supposed to expect this, it just still comes as a shock. We will be talking about the storm system that I mentioned in the title, but before we do so, if you guys would like to subscribe, if you like what you're seeing, consider doing so. And if you are a returning, if you're a returning viewer, liking the video would be awesome. So, thank you so much. Let's look at, start off by looking at the temperatures quickly. I know I will talk about the snowstorm or storm with the snow potential, but you can scroll a little bit forward into the video if you want to see that. But I just want to quickly, touch on the temperatures as there's been kind of a bit of confusion as to what's going on, and I just want to clear some things up. So notice, right now we are looking at cool temperatures across the eastern United States, and really it looks as if the coolest of the weather has kind of passed for in terms of magnitude. So we're still gonna see the bit of the cool air kind of slide to the south and east. So those locations in the south will see the coolest of the weather. Still, it's still to come across those locations. However, across the north, in terms of frost and freezes, it kind of the threat has diminished. So let me show you. Notice that the cool air kind of slides to the southeast. Really, the GEFS ensembles aren't really too fond of that. What they are fond of, as you can see, is this growing air mass of very, very warm temperatures. And honestly, this is just the best news for me, because I still have carrots growing and tomatoes. So really, this will give us almost another half month of time, if not more, of decent temperatures. And really, while it is October, it's marginal, so any temperature boost we can get is going to be amazing, and hopefully we could see more of that. And really, most of the models are on par with that. This is this isn't just one model I'm showing you here. This is an ensemble of 24 or 26 models. I forget the exact number, and there you can see agreeing with that. The European ensembles, you can see a bit of that chilly air at first, maybe a bit. Try sneaking in next week or this upcoming week after that storm system, but really, just look at that. We see a huge dome of hot air move into the central and eastern United States, and really the cold air stays limited. It's tough to say what's going to happen after the halfway point of the month. It looks as if it may stay warm though, but I'm very confident about the warmth up until about the 15th. I'm very confident about that. And in terms of the warmth, after that, we'll have to see. But let's get talking about the storm system. So this storm system is very interesting because, again, some models are showing a snowstorm and a large storm, and there's a couple models just showing a large storm with not much snow, and then there's one model, really the GFS, that's just not showing much of anything. So let's take a look at this and see which one is right by the process of elimination. Right. So notice right now we have showers, and there's really showers and light rain across much of the southern, kind of the southwestern Great Lakes region, really by Chicago, Indiana, and Wisconsin. This kind of slides to the east, tries connecting with this system off the coast, really doesn't do much. Earlier on, if you remember, it was thought that these two would connect and collide into a substantial storm. Now, ever since a few days, that has been already kind of not really the thing. And notice not much precipitation across the northeast. What we do see is, we can't really see the center of the storm, but we could see a little piece of it. We have a cold front trailing into the really as far north as the northern United States, as far south as the northern United States. Sorry about that. And into southern Canada. So notice that for my Canadian viewers, you will get a bit of rain Tuesday and into Wednesday, October 6th, 7th, and then we see a little system falling behind that, kind of like that little guy. I called that the little guy in my previous episodes. And notice that this thing speeds along through the Great Lakes, and here's where that storm potential is. The GFS doesn't really support this at all. You can see that the northeast gets showers and quite a bit of rain. Really not too much, just a bit of rain. Some snow showers to the north, but really it doesn't really organize itself across any substantial location in the Canada or the United States. And if I were to look at the North American view, you could see that this storm system does organize itself a bit further off into northern Canada and off the coast. You can see right there. So the GFS does organize the storm, right, but just not in our viewing area, which really just, that's not really anything to worry about, because not much folks live up here, and I don't think I don't even have many viewers from there. If you do live up there, comment down below, and I will include more of your forecast area. But I do what you guys want, and if it's useless and meaningless, then I won't do it. Notice this storm does not develop up until it's kind of around Labrador and Newfoundland, and then it becomes a pretty big storm, snow, rain, and all of that good stuff, including the winds. But let's take a look at some other models. So let's go back to the United States region, as the other models have more focused stuff on our Southern Canada, United States region, so I want to focus on that. Let me quickly show you the 12Z GFS, just to show you that the GFS has been consistently showing kind of this failure of this storm system, and to be honest with you, it's been progressively making it weaker and weaker. You can see over here, it still did develop a bit more than the new updated model one. Still, though, nothing significant. Let's take a look at the GFS parallel. This is a new modified GFS-like model, and let's see what it shows. You may have briefly saw what happened. So what we see, again, that kind of that cold front, weakened cold front, providing some instability, some showers, not much snow showers, not much cold air to work with. Central Ontario and as far south as northern Lake Superior into Sault Ste. Marie, Thunder Bay, probably getting a few showers. And then we have that little guy that doesn't turn into a little guy, or doesn't stay a little guy, it turns into a big guy. And you can see that this storm does have much more cold air with the GFS parallel. We have a lot of snow potentially occurring, snow showers, large coverage. Shouldn't be too heavy at this point in time. But notice we do see a stronger storm, 986. This is probably going to consist of some relatively strong winds with it. And again, the worst setup in weather is when kind of a high pressure and low pressure work together to create evil. Kind of like countries and politicians in the real world. One, bad enough. Two, even worse. So notice what we see. What I mean by that is we have a low pressure spinning counterclockwise, and we have a high pressure spinning clockwise. And notice how the isobars are packed across these locations, and that indicates pretty strong winds across Michigan, Illinois, Ohio, southern Canada into Lake Huron, Lake Superior. So bad boating conditions, bad for any people that go out on the waters, and just in general unpleasant weather. And while the storm continues to intensify, 975, you can see that we don't see much of the snow move into the northeast. We do see rain, and this is at around the Wednesday, Thursday time frame. And you can see 975, it does intensify quite a bit. It's at 964 here. So at this point, the high pressure moves along with it, and they again create a very, very strong avenue of winds, kind of like an alleyway, just a leaf blower, Mother Nature's leaf blower across these locations. So very strong winds, showers, you could see snow showers, and very, very heavy snow across Quebec, Labrador, Newfoundland, and into Nova Scotia. Some areas seeing some snow, and overall very cold conditions follow that storm. But again, afterwards, the GFS parallel does support the trend of seeing a warm pattern, a warm October, and you could see we have a large storm potentially next Thursday. Not this upcoming one, so far away, but you can see right there we have another storm system sprawling out. And again, I do want to mention we will be looking at a lot of activity across the western United States. And there's a lot of people that say I don't talk about the west, and sometimes I tend to forget when I'm kind of focused about a storm in the east, because, I don't know, this one seems pretty exciting. This one, but I've kind of, what's been happening is that the West has been so dry. I almost forgot that it's even a thing at this point. The West seeing weather. I forgot that that's even a thing at this point. And anyone in the West could relate. You've been just seeing hot and dry weather, but that will change. And don't worry, guys. I do want to include as much of the forecast area as possible. Except sometimes I do get a little bit all over the place, if you will. And notice we do see rain moving in really as early as next weekend, and the models have been consistently showing this. So it's a bit away, 162 hours, about a week away, but the models have been showing this for more than a week now, and you can see lots of rain moving into the western United States. And this isn't just the Northwest. This is Oregon, Nevada, California, Idaho, Washington, Montana, and we also see some mountain snow. Now the mountain snow will be extremely limited due to the fact that we are looking, dealing with very, very warm temperatures. So mountain snow limited, but the best thing is you're getting precipitation, and that's what you need. Notice it doesn't make its way as far, into the southwest where they do have a bad drought. But you can see there's several of these storms, and hopefully, that could provide some aid and relief. And it looks to be continuously active into the very, very long range. And just to show you quickly that the GFS, the model I was just previously showing, also supports this. You can see moving around Friday, Saturday time frame, a big storm, and lots of rain, lots of showers. So good news for the West in terms of precipitation. Let's actually just take a look at the total accumulated precipitation across the whole United States. You can see this is the GFS. Doesn't include a lot of precip across the northeast and southeastern Canada due to the fact that, again, the storm doesn't develop. Look at the West, though. We see, substantial amounts of rain, definitely rain amounts we'd like to see more of across the West and the Southwest. And we'll take anything, we could get. GFS parallel also showing quite a bit of rain and showing more into the long range. So all the models are generally in agreement with this. Not much for the Southwest, which is unfortunate. Notice quite a bit across the tropics, the Gulf Coast as well. There could be some increased tropical activity with some storms, so definitely something to watch for as well. Let's take a glance at the European model now to see what it shows about that big storm in the northeast and the southeastern Canada area, and as well as the west. So notice we are looking at right now pretty dry conditions, a bit of showery weather across the Great Lakes, as I mentioned at the beginning. We do see that failed storm system. And then we start seeing that weakened cold front, that little guy following it. And this little guy in the European model does get, pretty strong. The European model is definitely more closely supportive of what the GFS parallel is showing rather than the GFS itself. You can see that it does develop it much weaker. What the GFS parallel does is very strong. It makes it weaker and a little bit further off to the east, but it definitely is still there, and you can see produces quite a bit of snow. And again, notice, speaking of the west, we do see a very good chance of rain, and that moves pretty far inland. Lots of snow for the higher elevations in Canada, maybe not so much across the United States, as I said. And then you can see we have a potential for a pretty interesting setup next week. Or, around a week from now. More storms moving in, so definitely an interesting pattern. Let's take a look at this total accumulated precipitation, so quantitative precipitation forecast. You can see they do show a bit of rain across the northeast, especially southern Canada where that storm could explode, and a lot across the west. And, that might be a bit too much. Notice also a lot across Florida with some tropical storms. System kind of a tropical system. Really, it's tough to say what it will be. Most likely not a hurricane, but increased precipitation. So definitely something to watch for. And let's take a look at the total snowfall with the European. And let's take a glance at this. Notice that quite a bit of snow does occur right across Quebec and into southern Labrador, Newfoundland, and this could still easily shift to the south and west like the GFS parallel has it. And notice that beside of that, we see more snow occurring across long range across Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Alberta, and also quite a bit of mountain snow, especially in Canada. Obviously a bit in the United States, the higher elevations, but not as much as there could be at this time of the year. Let's take a look at the GFS parallel snowfall amounts. I showed you the precip amounts, but not the snowfall amounts. So I want to look at that. Total snowfall accumulations. You can see that the GFS parallel does show quite a bit across these locations. And, even just the tip of Maine right there, we could be looking at, potentially 6 to 7 inches. So definitely a pretty large snowstorm possibly on its way. I'll just call it probably a big storm with possible snow in the parentheses, something like that. But that's basically it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Consider liking, consider subscribing. I'll catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.